Part 78. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 771. Chapter 771 Sisters. When school is over. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing carried school bags on their backs. After school, they were used to carrying their school bags to the hospital every day, doing homework in the ward and accompanying their father at the same time. Nagging told Song Moding what happened at home, and even what happened at school one day. If nothing goes wrong, Song Zian will wait for them at the school gate. 8 girls suddenly appeared and blocked 2 people on a tree-lined path in a remote grove of the school. At this time, many students have already finished school. They left late today because they were cleaning. When they came out, there was basically no one on campus. Especially this road. At this time, the light is dim and the grove with dense leaves is faintly visible. Many students are unwilling to take this route unless they are in a group. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing were in a hurry today, otherwise they wouldn't like this road very much, giving people a gloomy feeling. Looking at the 8 girls in front of them, they naturally knew each other. They were the famous eldest sisters in the school. He doesn't study well and often hangs out with gangsters in society. I didn't see him getting a perm and curly hair at such a young age. Those who are pretentious don't look like good people at first glance. The teacher has already given up on these children. But these girls have never come to provoke the 2 of them on weekdays. Of course it's because they have 2 famous brothers. Once in the 2nd grade, 2 5th-grade boys came to bully the twins and forced them to ask for money. After their 2 brothers found out, the next day they cornered the 2 children and beat them up severely. They took off their pants and tied them to a tree in the school for the whole night. If the parents hadn't come to find them, it is estimated that those 2 children will be embarrassed as adults. Since this incident, no one in the school dared to bully the 2 of them. Today, these 8 girls looked at each other with bad intentions, and they looked at each other. Song Ziwen, Song Zijing, we have heard about your family. Your 2 amulets are gone. I know that your family is rich. Your parents are both doctors. I heard that your mother also opened a big hospital and made a lot of money. Money. If nothing else, we sisters are short of cash and need money to spend. Take out the money you have and pay us 50 yuan every week from now on. Don't worry, we sisters will protect you too from now on and make sure no one bullies you in school. The leader, Xiao Hongying, is tall and thick. Obviously he is only 1.5 meters tall, but he weighs a full 150 kilograms. It looks like he is as tall as a man and as big as a horse. Of course, because her parents are both martial arts coaches, Xiao Hongying is also good at boxing and kicking. Among the girls in the school, she is considered the eldest sister. No one dares to provoke her, otherwise the beating will be in vain. Song Ziwen was not convinced. Xiao Hongying, this is called robbery. If I tell the teacher, you will be rewarded tomorrow. Song Zi would sigh here, silly sister, the twin sisters were too well protected by their 2 brothers, a little too innocent. In this day and age, if you dare to bully your classmates, you are naturally not afraid to sue the teacher. This article of suing the teacher is not enough, and this threat is not the point. Ha ha, look at these 2, they are fools without the protection of their 2 brothers, these 2 are really naive and idiots. Come on, sisters, teach them and tell the teacher what will happen. Xiao Hongying clenched her fist proudly and waved it as a demonstration. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing couldn't help but straighten their backs. They also secretly regretted it. When their brother and the others were training, the 2 of them always looked down upon it, thinking that it was something only boys were willing to do. Hands-on with swords and guns, with no regard at all. They are both ladies. They are said to be top-notch in piano, dance, and painting. They are not bad at all in terms of study, but they have never thought about how to make them master. but now I know that my brothers have only been away for a long time before someone started to bully me. If you had known about it earlier, you and your brother would have gone to training with your father. How could you have done this now? Don't mess around. Even if Song Zijing pretends to be calm, she is only a 9-year-old girl after all. The 7 girls rolled up their sleeves and approached the 2 of them with a sneer. You also have this day. In school, you have to have wind and rain has to rain. The teacher's darlings, let us also see if these darlings can still maintain their status under our palms. Your graceful demeanor. Without my brother, I think you are not as good as us. Isn't it just because you have 2 powerful brothers that you dominate the school all day long? Xiao Wu went to get a basin of cold water. I gave them a good bath and saw them wearing such beautiful dresses, which made me feel bad. Just look at what these 2 people are wearing. These leather shoes cost hundreds of dollars. I know your family is rich, so come and get a pair of scissors and cut off their hair. Yes, I will paint both of their faces with mud in a while, so that they will remember it honestly. People say that people have to bow their heads under low eaves, but it's better for you too. It's obvious that your 2 brothers are gone a long time ago, and everyone outside knows that your 2 brothers are missing. Why don't you just keep your tail between your legs now? You are so arrogant in school. Let us teach you how to behave this time. Several girls laughed. Trampling good students who were once high above them under their feet and letting them ravage them is their favorite thing to do. I couldn't afford to offend these 2 before, but now there is no one to protect them. Let them go. A voice interrupted. Xiao Hongying turned around unexpectedly. I saw a thin figure standing there in a dark corner under the shade of a tree. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing were surprised. This was their younger sister Song Zian. Said hurriedly. Yan, run quickly, you have nothing to do here. Song Zian has a very withdrawn personality. She is quiet at home and is well protected by her brothers and sisters. Song Zian heard that she was born prematurely and her health has never been good. She has been thin and weak since she was a child. She has been under the care of her mother and her body has become stronger and stronger. But compared with their sisters and brothers, Song Zian's figure is obviously thinner. If Yanyan is punished by these people, I'm afraid this sister will fall ill when she goes back. Xiao Hongying clenched her fists proudly. Hey, here comes another one. Let us reunite your 3 sisters. Let us take care of you this time so that you can remember it for a long time. Go straight to Song Zian. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing were anxious. They pushed a few people away and tried to run over. Xiao Hongying, don't touch my sister. If something happens to the 2 of us, bullying the weak, what kind of skill is that? If you have the ability, you can come for us too. Xiao Hongying looked at Song Ziwen and Song Zijing with a sneer. Okay, you 2, hold them down. I want them to see my iron palm. Just this white and tender little face. No, you know what will happen under my iron palm. I hate this kind of beautiful vixen. Hands his teeth and walks towards Song Ziwen and Song Zijing. Mainly because Song Ziwen and Song Zijing are too ostentatious in school, and they are considered the most popular figures in the school. Compared with the 2 of them, Song Zian is obviously like a little mouse that cannot see the light. Those who are not good at studies, dislike people, and have a withdrawn personality. Only by bullying people in the limelight can they satisfy their inner vanity. Go over and slap him in the face. Xiao Hongying thought about these 2 fair and tender little faces. Tomorrow they would be swollen like buns. The taste would definitely make people particularly excited. It's a pity that someone grabbed my arm tightly. Can't even move an inch. Xiao Hongying turned back in surprise. Did you meet a teacher? What he saw when he turned around was Song Zian's expressionless face. Xiao Hongying was happy. Haha, I originally wanted to let you go, but it seems you don't know how to behave. Then I'll deal with you first. The next step was a kick. Xiao Hongying had practiced boxing and kicking. Even though she was only 12 years old, a kick would hurt someone. There is no room left at all this time. The scene in Xiao Hongying's imagination of kicking the little girl down did not happen, because her wrist was squeezed tightly and she has not let go until now. The force was like an iron pliers, and her wrist felt like it was about to break. The kick was kicked hard by someone on the knee. Because he was unprepared, his knees bent and he fell to the ground with a plop. Then almost instantly, the figure shook. Xiao Hongying saw her 7 sisters covering their faces and falling to the ground. You. Songzian returned to her. You, Songzian, you actually, I want to tear you apart. Xiao Hongying thought she was unprepared. He didn't take Songzian seriously at all. Everyone in school knows that Songzian is a meat bun who can be bullied by anyone. He suddenly jumped up and clawed hard at Songzian's face. Punching and kicking, he really used his tricks. If an ordinary little girl was really injured by him, Song Ziwen and Song Zijing didn't see it well and hurriedly rushed forward to block their sister's punch. Result. He saw Xiao Hongying being kicked to the ground by Song Zian. This time she maintained her kneeling posture again, and just knelt there in a daze. Song Zian walked over. Slap to the left and slap to the right, 7 or 8 slaps to the face. Xiao Hongying's mouth was still dirty. Bang. You bitch, just wait, bang, bang. I'm going to kill you, pop. Bot, bang, bang. Stop, hit, snap. Pop. Stop, stop. Songzian stopped her hand and looked at Xiao Hongying's pig head. Looking at her hands with some annoyance, this body was too weak. After she entered this body, her seal could never be broken. It's because her body's constitution is so bad. If Zhang Xiaoxiao hadn't been using extraordinary means to recuperate her, she might not be able to recover to this state. Looking at herself, she only slapped her a few times. If she had slapped her a few times before, the woman in front of her would have already reported to the Lord of Hell. But it's good now. After so many slaps, the opponent's face will be swollen like a pig's head at best. My own hands were also a little red and painful. Sigh, it doesn't seem to work. I still have to exercise early in the future. This small body can't do it. The eldest brother and the second brother will not be back for a while, and there is no way to protect the family by their side. The 2 sisters are too weak. They are obviously fragile flowers of the high mountains. If they don't protect themselves, they will probably be bullied in the future. Look at it today, if I hadn't felt a little bored waiting at the school gate and stopped by to pick them up, I'm afraid the 2 of them would have been dealt with miserably here. No matter what, this is my sister's daughter and my closest relative. They are nominally 2 sisters, but in fact the 3 of them are not related by blood at all. But her 2 sisters have been very kind to her since she was a child. They let her have any toys or delicious food, and she always knows that the kindness is repaid. Looks like this family will have to protect my sister from now on. Don't, you're right, the sea can't do it. No matter what you say, the mud will hit you. Xiao Hongying couldn't speak clearly. There was nothing she could do. This person was much more skilled than herself. She felt that the teeth in her mouth were loose. The taste of blood in his mouth means he must have shed a lot of blood. The 7 girls who were covering their faces just now and howling and wailing on the ground are now silent and dumbfounded, sitting on the ground not daring to move. Compared with the slap they received from Xiao Hongying in front of them, it was a world of difference. Everyone began to tremble. The small body in front of them suddenly seemed as tall as a demon crawling out of in their eyes. If you beat yourself up, your face will be full of flowers. Just thinking about how many people there were, I felt my face hurt so much that I quietly moved back and shrank my body, for fear that the person in front of me would want to come to settle a score with them. If anyone dares to touch our sisters again in the future, just open your eyes and take a look. What will happen? Song Zian said a word easily and pulled Song Ziwen and Song Zijing away. Zhang Xiaoxiao is still waiting for them in the hospital. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing didn't come back to their senses for a long time. This is their sister? Are they dreaming and not waking up? With little stars in her eyes, she said, Yan Yan, you can teach us too from now on. Yes, yes, you teach us. How can an older sister let her younger sister protect her? Song Zian surpassed the two of them in a few steps. Quack. Still so aloof. Song Ziwen and Song Zijing don't care about that much. One by one, they rushed forward and hooked Song Zian's neck. Are you going to agree? No. We will annoy you to death. Song Zian twisted her waist awkwardly while scratching her little paws. The two sisters climbed on top of her. How to break it? End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 772. Chapter 772 Death. Xiao Xiao, I may have a way to revive Song Moding. Do you want to come? Wu Weiguo's call made Zhang Xiaoxiao hesitate. At this point in time, even if Wu Weiguo lied to him, it would be of no benefit to him. Zhang Xiaoxiao drove directly to the Wu family's old house. Again, when she saw Wu Weiguo in this living room, her heart froze. Unexpectedly, Wu Weiguo was in a terminally ill old man's condition after not seeing him for just a year. Sure enough, he did not deceive himself, he was really hopeless. Wu Weiguo was sitting in a wheelchair, with a blanket covering his legs. He was as withered as a skeleton. His face was turning black from green to purple, and his lips were almost dark blue. His entire body condition had entered a very bad state. The moment he saw her, his slightly closed eyelids opened. At that moment, Zhang Xiaoxiao mistakenly thought he was seeing love. Your own peach juice doesn't work? The radiation function of meteorites is too powerful. Slowly sat down on the chair next to Wu Weiguo. Wu Weiguo gasped and raised his hand, but unfortunately he didn't have enough strength and fell down in an instant. Zhang Xiaoxiao's head sank. Even though she once hated Wu Weiguo, it was because Wu Weiguo's mistakes affected her and Song Moding. But at this moment, facing this old man who was very old and about to die, she could not remain completely indifferent. Involuntarily took out the pills from his bag. Wu Weiguo shook his head, it's useless. I know what you took out is the secret recipe passed down from generation to generation, but you probably don't know it. Your grandma has secretly obtained the peach juice from MRS Song. I have verified the secret recipe passed down from generation to generation. It is peach juice. Although I don't know what kind of secret you have, my child, those peach juices are of no use to me, and the secret recipe that can be cured by everyone has no effect at all on me. My time is coming, and I know I won't survive tonight. Wu Weiguo was out of breath after just saying this. The guy next to him hurriedly took out a dark green liquid from his pocket. Gently poured a drop into Wu Weiguo's mouth, and Wu Weiguo's face finally had a faint red light. That kind of ruddy color is an abnormal red color. Child, I'm sorry. I originally wanted to give you a stable life so that you could grow up happily and have your own happiness, but I didn't expect that I would end up dragging you down. Wu Weiguo closed his eyes and rested for a while, then whispered the only apology in his life. There is no need to say sorry. From the moment I became your daughter, I have been destined to never live a stable life in this life. If you are really sorry for me, then tell me how to make Song Moding wake up. Zhang Xiaoxiao tried hard to stay indifferent. Whether Wu Weiguo is good or not has nothing to do with him. The meager affection between them is not enough to move me. Although the old man in front of her was dying and was about to pass away, although she felt slightly uncomfortable in her heart, it was not enough to allow herself to forgive him. The explosion in the laboratory has destroyed everything. The meteorite in the laboratory has completely disappeared. I don't know where it went, but the only explanation is that the meteorite should have followed the explosion. The explosion created a wave of energy. Those energies caused great harm to Song Moding, which brought him to his current state. The only way is to find the meteorite. Wu Weiguo opened his eyes focused and cold. Seems like he is talking about irrelevant topics with an outsider. You also said it has disappeared, so where can I find it? The guy brought a box over. Hand it to Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at it but didn't open it. When I was studying that meteorite, I made two preparations. I cut a small part from the meteorite and kept it in this box. As long as you hold this meteorite, you can feel the direction of the meteorite. If you search according to this, you will definitely find it. As long as the two meteorites merge, the energy generated should be enough to wake up Song Moding. Wu Weiguo looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao eagerly. What kind of energy does the meteorite have? You also said that it has a very strong radiation ability. You have become this situation after being radiated. Now give it to me. Aren't you worried about my condition? Zhang Xiaoxiao did not open it. There are not many people in the world that she can trust, and at least among those who believe, Wu Weiguo is definitely not among them. This meteorite is very small, and the radiation on it has been isolated by me with special metal. I can guarantee that the radiation will not have any effect on you. This meteorite has special abilities. So far I only know that it can change the orientation of time and space, takes you through time and space. If you don't want to use its ability to find another meteorite, you can throw it away. Don't force yourself. The only thing I want to tell you is, the person I feel most sorry for in this world is your daughter. I hope you can live a good life. Wu Weiguo gasped, his face turned pale, and the man hurriedly took out the green liquid. Wu Weiguo shook his head. There are also things in the box specially reserved for you. If you choose not to look for meteorites, you can also throw these things away with the meteorites. Because only your fingerprints can get all these things. Can the energy shield of the meteorite be opened? There is no way for anyone else to open it. Sorry, I am not a good father. I hope I will have the opportunity to repay it in my next life. Wu Weiguo closed his eyes. If the rise and fall of his chest hadn't made Zhang Xiaoxiao feel like he was a living person, Zhang Xiaoxiao would have doubted whether this person had run out of energy. The man glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao accusingly, his eyes seeming to accuse Zhang Xiaoxiao of having reached this point. She was actually unwilling to let a father who loved her leave peacefully. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at Wu Weiguo silently, gently put his hand on Wu Weiguo's and patted it, then turned around and left with the box. The moment Wu Weiguo patted Zhang Xiaoxiao's hand, 2 drops of crystal tears fell from the corners of his eyes. Her breathing gradually stopped, and a peaceful smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. At this moment, there was silence all around. The man lowered his head silently, and tears from the corners of his eyes fell on the floor. My boss is gone forever this time, and my boss will never be able to joke with me again. The Wu family issued a funeral obituary the next day. Wu Weiguo was officially cremated. Buried in the Martyrs Cemetery in northern Beijing. Everything was done very quietly. Except for the old lady and the old man who attended Wu Weiguo's funeral, the other brothers and sisters of the Wu family were ordered not to attend Wu Weiguo's funeral. Amidst the skepticism from the outside world, Wu Weiguo completely disappeared from people's sight. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 773. Chapter 773 The Lord of the Rings. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the box in the room silently. This box started when he took it home. She has been hesitating. Should it be opened or not? The meteorite in this box obviously has special superpowers. Travel through time. Isn't this what I am experiencing? Could it be that because she is the daughter of Wu Weiguo, she has the possibility of living a new life? Is her rebirth inextricably linked to this meteorite? Zhang Xiaoxiao was very worried. He was reborn, had space, had these mysterious peaches, and the spiritual spring. Could the change in his entire life be related to this meteorite? If you open this box yourself, will it be like opening Pandora's box? At that time, all changes will be beyond your control. But a thought in my heart was arguing crazily. That was the only chance to save Song Moding. If it's Pandora's box. Have you given up on yourself? How many people put themselves at risk for their own selfish reasons? Midnight. Zhang Xiaoxiao returned to the hospital's laboratory, which was her sanctuary and a place with level 10 protection. If this is Pandora's box, let her open it. Zhang Xiaoxiao slowly put his finger on the button, and the box opened instantly. There is no light in the box, nor any strange changes. On the top layer of the box lies a ring. Silver ring, plain and simple, so simple that one would doubt that the ring is anything special. Jimian is a strange flower. Zhang Xiaoxiao flipped through the information and searched the computer to confirm that it was the Bianhua flower. The blooming flowers make people like a gambler who is attracted and want to get close to it involuntarily. Jiang's little fingers paused just as they were about to touch it. In an instant, the peach tree in the space bore bright red peaches, and the unripe peaches ripened in an instant. Tao Zi is as big as a fist. Coming into the air with a strange fragrance. Peach does not smell like peach, but rather the fragrance of flowers, or some kind of elegant medicinal fragrance, which makes people feel refreshed physically and mentally. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't touch the ring. Instead, he opened the box at the bottom. A dagger, a pair of silver gloves, a mask, and a silver cloak. A half mask that only covers one eye. Same silver mask, with a bana flower on the forehead. On the silver cloak is a large bana flower. Silver and red form a very strange beauty. The bright red color of Bianhua flowers is weird and gorgeous, weird and cold. This is what we call props. There is nothing more in the box. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at all these things and silently picked up the ring. The moment you put it on your finger, it seemed that the ring was attracted to you, as if it was a desire. The ring almost slipped on by itself. It was firmly attached to Jiang's little fingers. A voice sounded in her head. The world will open in 10 seconds, please prepare your weapons, please be careful when entering the mission. Once you die, you will stay in this world forever in the form of a soul and cannot return. 10, 9, 8. Zhang Xiaoxiao put on a mask, her long loose hair was braided into a braid, her cloak covered her figure, and she put the dagger into her own space. 3, 2, 1. A dazzling white light made my eyes dizzy. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt a sense of weightlessness. That is, a moment. See the scene in front of you again. Empty. Yes, there is no one in front of me. She is in a room. There seems to be no one else here but her. Zhang Xiaoxiao breathed a sigh of relief. Look around. This is a small room, not luxurious, just an ordinary room. There is even a bit of a cheap taste in it. A single bed, a computer, a wardrobe, and a bathroom. There was nothing in the kitchen refrigerator except a piece of bread, dry flat bread. She saw herself in the bathroom mirror. The silver mask carries an alluring charm, and she looks like a noble who has traveled through the Middle Ages. Dong dong dong. Xiao Xiao, we're about to leave, hurry up and don't drag yourself out every time. If you don't go, no one will pay your grandma's nursing fees for you. An impatient gruff voice came from outside the door. Zhang Xiaoxiao wondered if he would be recognized by others when he went out and was not the Xiaoxiao they knew. I don't know what to do at all. What is the situation now? Zhang Xiaoxiao, are you leaving? If not, I'm leaving, you coward. The door was pushed open. Zhang Xiaoxiao obviously didn't expect it, nor did the other party. Seeing Zhang Xiaoxiao in neat clothes, the woman outside the door reminded her with complicated eyes. Follow me, otherwise don't blame me if something happens to you. Your elder brother can't blame me. I can protect you for so long. You should be content. If you don't fight or get the chance to practice, you can't wait for me to feed you every time. I am unlucky to marry your brother, but your brother is dead and I don't owe you anything. This is the last time I will protect you, and I will leave for the rest, so you can take care of yourself. And these are things you shouldn't take out. Too garish. The woman turned around and left indifferently. Zhang Xiaoxiao's heart was pounding wildly, but no one noticed him, and he followed the woman's footsteps casually. The women walked very fast. They almost ran to an elevator door. Captain, I'm sorry, we're late. The woman her long hair and apologized apologetically to the bearded man in front of her. There were 5 men following behind the man. The moment he saw Zhang Xiaoxiao could conclude that everyone in the team hated her. That Chiguakyo's disgust is undisguised. Why didn't you bring any weapons? Do you want to sit back and enjoy the benefits? A man had a cigarette hanging from his mouth and his eyes were contemptuous. Zhang Xiaoxiao took out his dagger. Humph, you carry this burden with you every time, and sooner or later it will drag you down to death trash. Keep up, you deserve to die, don't cause trouble for us. The cigarette man seemed to dislike her. The tone is very bad. Come on, monkey, it's not easy for her either. She used to be Miss Xiao, but now she suddenly encounters something like this. It's possible that she won't have time to adapt. Give her some time. The woman spoke awkwardly, actually trying to help Zhang Xiaoxiao. Yuli, you are just too kind. The monkey looked like he hated iron. The elevator door opened, and the bearded man took the lead and entered. Others followed silently. Zhang Xiaoxiao followed Yali silently and stood in the corner of the elevator, having no idea what to expect. Yali's heart softened when she saw that Zhang Xiaoxiao was not crying. The man she loved had gone and never came back. I can never bear it. But if she wants to leave, she can't keep this girl for the rest of her life. No matter how weak a girl is, she should grow up. Go out in a moment and follow me closely. No matter what, you have to fight. It won't be of much help, but you have to adapt to the battle, otherwise you will be eliminated. Your brother also hopes that you can survive. This is her last effort. Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded slowly. Fight. Honor, where have you been? End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 774. Chapter 774 Encountering a Battle. The moment the elevator door opens, Zhang Xiaoxiao realized that everyone was on alert for an instant. Zhang Xiaoxiao clenched the dagger in his hand tightly, rubbing some pattern on the handle of the dagger. Others rushed out one after another, and Yali took a look at Zhang Xiaoxiao. Follow me. Then he rushed out without looking back. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a breath and followed immediately. For Song Moding. Even if you are facing mountains of swords and seas of fire, you have to go through it yourself. She is not afraid of death, at least she can save her life. I don't know if peach juice will work here. Stepping out of the elevator, it was very desolate outside, so desolate that Zhang Xiaoxiao thought he was on an alien planet. It was almost a desert. The wind blew the sand and hit my face. It hurt, as if someone had slapped me in the face. Zhang Xiaoxiao followed Yali. I don't know what people are looking at. There is an energy box ahead. Everyone is on alert. Yuri goes up to open it and quickly takes away the supplies. The bearded man is issuing orders. At that moment, 5 men formed a fan-shaped defensive circle. The bearded man stood behind Yali and looked around cautiously. Zhang Xiaoxiao was at a loss and could only follow Yali towards a silver box in front of him. The speed was very fast. The moment he reached it, Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly realized that he could clearly see a monster curled up in the box in front of his eyes. Like a giant scorpion, the black body is huge, the small eyes are cunning and vicious, and the tail is already raised high. As soon as Yuli opens the box, she will be greeted. The moment Zhang Xiaoxiao saw it, Yali had already opened the box. Open the box with one hand and prepare to take away the contents. The moment he opened the box, the black tail flashed with a sharp cold light and stabbed at Yuli. Careful, Yuri. The bearded man suddenly realized it and issued a warning. It's a pity it's too late. They are not even close enough to save Yuli. At this moment, a cold light suddenly appeared. A sharp dagger fell from the sky, cutting off the black-pointed mastiff, and a black blood stain sprayed on Yuli's arm. Yali let out a scream of pain, and at the same time stabbed the scorpion's eye with the knife without stopping, causing the scorpion to scream crazily. Xiao Xiao, run quickly. Yali pulled out the knife and shouted at Zhang Xiao Xiao. With this shout, the monster jumped out of the box, and its shrill scream made the expressions of several other people change. No, it's calling out to its mates. They all feel bad about the bearded man. At the same time, the bearded man saw Zhang Xiaoxiao's knife rising and falling, and he actually killed the scorpion that was still attacking with one knife. The scorpion strangely transformed into a black gemstone. Zhang Xiaoxiao picked up the gem and instinctively realized that it might be useful, so he stuffed it into his pocket. Helping Yuli up, the large corroded scars on Yuli's arms were expanding. You can almost see the bones. Hurry up, scorpion beasts are gregarious species, they will dare to come soon, we must leave quickly. Monkey came up to help Zhang Xiaoxiao lift Yali up, and the few of them ran quickly towards the desert in the distance. With his small eyes, Zhang could clearly see countless scorpion-shaped beasts gathering towards them along the desert sand flow. There is a cave over there, let's go there and hide. The bearded man has already shouted out in advance. Speed up. Yali's face changed greatly in pain. He fainted as soon as he tilted his head. The monkey was startled, and a figure jumped out of the sand, aiming directly at the monkey's face. Monkey let go of Yuri and brandished his weapon. Zhang Xiaoxiao, take her away quickly, hurry up. Seeing that Zhang Xiaoxiao was still hesitating, Monkey slashed Scorpion's strong scorpion mastiff with his knife, sending out sparks. Let's go, don't forget that Yuli saved you many times. Zhang Xiaoxiao turned around and struck the scorpion mastiff with his dagger. The scorpion mastiff was immediately chopped down again. The monkey's stress suddenly decreased. Zhang Xiaoxiao turned around, picked up Yali and ran towards the cave. He stuffed a pill made from peach juice into Yali's mouth. While rushing into the cave, other people also rushed in. The bearded man was dragging a huge boulder with one hand. Zhang Xiaoxiao was shocked that the man was so strong. Monkey, hurry up. Countless scorpion beasts were surrounding the monkey. The monkey picked up a black gem and rushed towards them quickly. The moment he rushed in, the bearded man blocked the entrance of the cave with a huge stone. Everyone was instantly submerged in darkness. There was a fierce sound of hitting boulders outside. There were all kinds of weird noises, and it took a long time before there was no movement outside. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at Yali in the dark. The beam lights up. The bearded men each hold a flashlight, and the flashlight on their foreheads makes them look as scary as Frankenstein. How is Yuli? Zhang Xiaoxiao saw that the wound on her arm was slowly healing. Now it seems that the wound is not getting worse. But Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that they would eventually heal. It didn't get worse. The bearded man frowned, take good care of her. It seems she can't continue the mission. We'll send you back until dawn tomorrow. Monkey said dissatisfied. Captain, just ask her to take Yuli back. It's only a few steps away. We only have 4 opportunities to go on missions a month. If we lose the last chance, we will all drink from the northwest wind. Others did not speak, but the atmosphere was obviously solemn. Captain, I can take Yuli back, you don't have to worry about us. These people must be very kind to be able to do this. Not abandoning your teammates is the greatest kindness to them. Okay, I should have sent you back, but it's not easy for us people on the 900th floor to go on a mission. We can't go back empty-handed, so don't blame us. The bearded man is a nice person. No, Captain, I understand. Zhang Xiaoxiao had to remove the rotten flesh and bandage the wounds for Yali. Everyone was silent in the darkness. It was obvious that a bad start affected everyone's mood. Zhang Xiaoxiao, I didn't expect you to be able to do it. It's changed so much. Where did you buy your dagger? It's so sharp it cut off the scorpion-shaped beast's scorpion mastiff with just one knife. This is the first time I've seen it. Hao sat next to Zhang Xiaoxiao, chatting with Zhang Xiaoxiao either to lighten the atmosphere or to cheer everyone up. It was left by my brother. I used to be timid. Yuli is right. I still have a grandma. People have to survive. I can't rely on Yuli for the rest of my life. Zhang Xiaoxiao tried to explain according to what he understood today. No wonder, your eldest brother used to be the captain of the star team. His sword is naturally different. It is indeed different. You performed really well today. If you had been like this from the beginning, you would have applied for 100-level treatment. Why have you stayed with us for so long? Monkey said with envy, it seems that the 800th floor is a place that everyone yearns for. Zhang Xiaoxiao shut up silently. He didn't know the difference between the 900th floor and the 800th floor. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 775. Chapter 775 Black Horned Dragon. When Yali woke up, she saw Zhang Xiaoxiao roasting the leg of a single-eyed sheep. The aroma was fragrant, and the fat was emitting a fragrant aroma. Hurriedly stood up and kicked the flames away. Zhang Xiaoxiao, what are you doing? The flame is extinguished. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at Yali in astonishment. Do you know you can kill people if you do this? Many monsters out there like flames and scents. You are so stupid that you target us for them. People will die. Don't hold us back even if you want to die. Yali scolded Zhang Xiaoxiao angrily. Then she saw the 3 monsters that had been sitting there standing up slowly and staring at her coldly. Yuli slowly stepped back, 1 step at a time. It's actually a black-horned dragon, yes. Hello Ceratops. The cold light of the horn makes people feel chilly in the heart. The small dark eyes are full of angry and ferocious light. The tall body seems to stand up with them, making it look particularly huge. Hey Jialong. Yali's feet were a little weak and she sat down on the ground. It's over. Why did you provoke these killing gods? Black-horned dragons like to eat us alive. Their leather armor is very thick and they are almost invulnerable. Encountering a black-horned dragon almost means death. Zhang Xiaoxiao, we don't have to run away now. Dead. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood up, and Yali wanted to hold her back. Is it difficult for Zhang Xiaoxiao to go up and fight? Have you never heard of the legend of Black-horned Dragon? When the Black-horned Dragon appears, no matter what kind of team it is, it will be completely wiped out. The Black-horned Dragon is the most powerful creature on the 900th level. Invincible. It is said that the Black-horned Dragon guards the richest treasure on the 900th floor. No one covets the Black-horned Dragon's supplies unless they risk their lives. Who doesn't want to live? Zhang Xiaoxiao walked over and threw half a leg of lamb over. Immediately 3 black-horned dragons pounced on it, fighting for and biting it, and soon they tore open the one-eyed lamb leg and ate it with gusto. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked back and lit the fire again with the help of weak flames. Roast the one-eyed sheep next to you. Yali looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao doing things stupidly. I don't know if I am blind, but I saw such a strange scene. Zhang Xiaoxiao really didn't know that lighting a fire would lead to attacks. Isn't it normal to build a fire in the wild to avoid wild beast attacks? Yuli didn't wake up. The bearded captain took Monkey and the others away and told them to go to the safe area near the elevator and wait for the elevator to open. It turns out that the elevator only opens once a day. If you miss the time, you will continue to stay here. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought it was still early, but the bearded captain said 10 o'clock. Jiang's small watch told her that it was only 6 o'clock. Let's light a fire and prepare some food. There are still potatoes and sweet potatoes in my space. Bake a few to fill your stomach. After roasting, the aroma attracted the one-eyed sheep. At first, Zhang Xiaoxiao was afraid of being attacked, so he raised the knife and dropped it. Only then did he realize that the one-eyed sheep was still a herbivore and was not aggressive towards her at all. Maybe I was attracted by the smell of roasted sweet potatoes. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought about it. Let's roast the sheep. Who wouldn't eat meat if it's available? Besides, she remembered correctly, there was only one dry flatbread in the refrigerator. It would be strange for people who don't like meat. So after she slaughtered the one-eyed sheep, she washed it in the river water of her own space and roasted it directly. The one-eyed sheep with cumin, chili powder, and salt is fragrant. Zhang Xiaoxiao tasted a piece of mutton. It was so delicious that he felt that he had never eaten such delicious mutton. Just as he was about to feast, a black-horned dragon suddenly fell from the sky. At that time, of course she didn't know this thing was a dragon. We have never seen one before and basically have no idea about dragons. This kind of black-horned dragon has wings, a single horn, and is completely black. Of course, her eyes were a bit ferocious, but they flew down and snatched the one-eyed sheep directly from her hand, and the food there was delicious. Zhang Xiaoxiao really didn't have that awareness at the time. Seeing how delicious this animal was, I immediately relaxed my vigilance. There was no way we wouldn't have had such an adventure. The mind to be more vigilant probably still needs to be exercised. If Song Moding were here, he would probably be off that his wife was so stupid. How can we not be vigilant in the wild? Her sheep was snatched away, and she had no ability to it back, so she had no choice but to eat her roasted sweet potatoes. Black-horned dragon finished eating the sheep and looked at the roasted sweet potato in Zhang Xiaoxiao's hand. Zhang Xiaoxiao had no choice but to throw roasted sweet potatoes to others, but obviously this thing was not to the appetite of the black-horned dragon. He took 2 bites and spit it out, then glared at Zhang Xiaoxiao with a fierce look on his face. Zhang Xiaoxiao spread his hands to indicate that there was no one-eyed sheep, so he attracted such a one-eyed sheep. I didn't even eat it. You've also seen it, it's not that I won't do it for you, there are no sheep. Then the black-horned dragon flew away instantly. Right? Zhang Xiaoxiao once experienced the capabilities of flying creatures. 5 minutes later, 3 black-horned dragons appeared. It should be 2 big and 1 small. The one who ate the one-eyed sheep just now must have been the smaller one. They just threw down 3 one-eyed sheep. Zhang Xiaoxiao began to kill sheep and clean and barbecue. These 3 ate very happily. Before Yuli even woke up, a strange cycle formed between the 3 black-horned dragons and Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao roasted 3 one-eyed sheep, and the 3 dragons immediately snatched them and ate them. After eating, they flew away and caught 3 more one-eyed sheep. Zhang Xiaoxiao continued to roast them, and finally the 3 black-horned dragons were completely troubled. They flew away and a group of one-eyed sheep came over. This group of one-eyed sheep numbered at least more than 100, and they were standing tremblingly beside Zhang Xiaoxiao's fire, not daring to run away at all. One can imagine the intimidating power of this black-horned dragon. When Yali woke up, all but 10 of the one-eyed sheep had been eaten. Don't be afraid of them. They are actually very friendly and don't hurt anyone at all. I roasted a lamb for them just now, and they were even willing to let me tear the lamb off the leg and eat it. Yali was furious. Do you have any unique understanding of the black-horned dragon? Black horned dragon actually doesn't eat humans. Are you kidding me? At last there were 3 one-eyed sheep left, and the 3 black-horned dragons were finally satisfied with their food and drink. The black-horned dragon flapped its wings when it was full, preparing to fly away. Before leaving, he spit out a sign and put it at Zhang Xiaoxiu's feet. A long neighing sound, instantly causing frightened roars from wild beasts all around. The black-horned dragon flew away. Zhang Xiaoxiao picked up the brand. It was a black brand with only a dragon-shaped pattern on it. The material looked a bit like metal. Before he knew how to use it, he put it in his pocket. Yuli finally recovered. The two of them worked together to kill the last 3 one-eyed sheep and put away the mutton. Yuli took the one-eyed sheep away instantly. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked very interested. Sister Yali, you actually have storage space. I am afraid of exposing the secret of my space. Now it seems that this space is not a secret. Yali glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao, your brother gave me this. Don't you have the storage space your brother left for you? It's much bigger than mine. I even envy this. Don't worry, this the one-eyed sheep is all yours to bring back, I'm just taking it back for you. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled, that euphemistically named brother is really a god. Sister Yali, let's go back and divide these 3 one-eyed sheep between the two of us. Let's go quickly, the elevator is coming. You must know that during the continuous killing and roasting of sheep, they have spent a whole day. There is no way, who made those 3 black-horned dragons so edible. It is already 10 o'clock on the 3rd day. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 776. Chapter 776 Energy Stone. The two people took the elevator back to their floor. At this time, Zhang Xiaoxiao realized that the elevator went directly to their floor, but there was no sign when trying to go to other floors. You can only find out after getting out of the elevator. There were many people outside the elevator. Some looked at the two of them with evil eyes and saw that their hands were empty. Can't help but look at Yuli. It should be that many people know Yuli. Yuli, take this loser out again. He has only been out for 3 days and you are back. I told you long ago that as long as this loser follows you, you will never get ahead in your life. Many people were laughing and making fun of Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't say anything. Here she is Zhang Xiaoxiao, but not Zhang Xiaoxiao. This inexplicable identity has an eldest brother, a grandma, and a future sister-in-law who is considered her sister-in-law. The good-for-nothing girl in everyone's eyes. I don't know if it's because my arrival has replaced the other party, or if the other party has exchanged souls with me. Essentially, she is not willing to exchange with the other party. If this kind of trash quality comes into your life, it won't make your home a mess. I want you to mind your own business. With a frosty look on her face, Yali pulled Zhang Xiaoxiao back. When they arrived at Zhang Xiaoxiao's house, Yali actually took out 3 one-eyed sheep. This is your first batch of trophies. You must keep it well. It can last for at least a month. I was injured, but I didn't expect the captain to give it to me. I bought an advanced healing potion. This potion is very expensive. I originally planned to leave here and go to the 850th floor this month, but thanks to the captain's favor, I decided to stay for another month to help him fight. You behaved very well this time, so I will take you with me this month. If you have a chance to defeat the Devil's Eye, then you can go to the 850th floor with me. This Yuri is really good. She can protect this waste in such a harsh environment to this day. Definitely not directed at Zhang Xiaoxiao himself. Without saying a word, Zhang Xiaoxiao separated one of the one-eyed sheep and gave it to Yali, and also took out the black gem. Sister Yuli, you take this. I will keep 2 of the sheep, and you take the other one you need to make up for it. This one was obtained by the scorpion beast, and it should be yours. After all, Yuri gave herself a chance by stabbing the scorpion beast blind. Yuli took the one-eyed sheep. I won't be polite to you about this one-eyed sheep. I will take it back to eat, but you keep this black gem. If it weren't for your knife, I would have died in the scorpion shape. How could there be this gem in the beast's hand? Logically speaking, this booty should be yours. Keep these gems well. You can go to the mission hall to exchange them for weapons and food, and you can even help your grandma pay for them. Yuli turned and left. Zhang Xiaoxiao locked the door. This Yuli is really good. Suddenly a voice sounded in my mind. There are 10 seconds left to exit the world. 10, 9, 8. Zhang Xiaoxiao hurriedly put the one-eyed sheep into the refrigerator. While carrying the black gem, he was sucked into the darkness. After losing weight again, she found herself back in her room exactly as she had left it. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the time and found that it was only 3 hours before he left. It took me 3 days to go to that world, and it only took 3 hours to get here. The next mission requires energy stones. If you find an energy stone, do you want to open it now? It will take 3 days to open the mission world. The energy stone opening world time can be superimposed, otherwise it cannot be opened until 3 days later. Do you want to open the mission world? Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the black gem in his hand. There was no doubt that this was the energy stone that opened the world. Open the mission world. With her voice, the black gemstone in her hand disappeared instantly, and Zhang Xiaoxiao felt the feeling of weightlessness coming back again. In an instant she was in the room again. It seems that the energy stones needed to open the mission world are those dropped by monsters. Zhang Xiaoxiao took out 10 green gems from his own space. These are dropped from those one-eyed sheep. Not every one can be dropped. According to the probability, it is about 10%. These were collected into the space by themselves at that time, and the accidental collision experiment proved that the space would not be discovered by the so-called meteorite ring. Otherwise it would not be 1 energy stone, but 11 energy stones. This is an unexpected surprise. 1 day later, Yuli came to tell her that Captain Bearded and the others were back. The bearded captain was seriously injured, and the other team members also suffered various injuries. This time they almost failed. The energy stones obtained are not enough to change dressings and go to a treatment center. The cost of treatment is high. Generally they cannot afford to go. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a one-eyed sheep and went to visit the bearded captain with Yali. The bearded captain is called Lu Jian. Coming to Big Beard, Captain Big Beard's room is only half the size of Zhang Xiaoxiao's room. There is a double bed in the room. It seems that the bearded captain does not live alone. Their arrival immediately alarmed everyone in the room. The bearded captain was lying on the bed, his face was pale and dying, and his chest was wrapped with white gauze. A long-haired woman was sitting by the bed crying. When she heard the sound of them opening the door and coming in, the woman immediately raised her eyes in fright. When he saw Yuli, jealousy shone in his eyes. Shueli, Xiaoxiao and I came to see the captain. How is the captain doing now? He has been unconscious since he came back. Monkey and the others have already gone to buy healing potions. However, no one knows whether they can buy high-level healing potions. If he hadn't given you the high-level healing potions, you wouldn't have ended up in the dark. Such an outcome. Shueli said angrily. Yuli had a guilty expression on her face. Wait a minute, who said the captain gave the advanced healing potion to my sister Yuli? Shueli obviously disdained Zhang Xiaoxiao. Although Zhang Xiaoxiao can do good deeds, he cannot do good deeds without leaving a name. Don't think I'm a fool. The monkeys and the others said when they came back that Yuli encountered a scorpion beast and was sprayed with poison by the scorpion beast. If you hadn't used high-level potion for that kind of injury, how could you have been intact when you came back? Speak more strongly. Hangzi and the others opened the door and saw Xueli glaring at Zhang Xiaoxiao. Sister-in-law, we have scraped together and can only exchange for a bottle of low-level healing potion. We can't afford it at the treatment center. You should give the captain a low-level healing potion first. Xueli took it and said, your captain is a fool. He gave the high-level healing potion to others. In the end, he ended up like this. He could only hang his life with this low-level healing potion. Your captain's injury is considered to have damaged his heart. If you don't get treatment, you will really die. Tears fell. Sister-in-law, who did the captain give the high-level healing potion to, tell us, when we go to him, we must ask him to give us a bottle of high-level healing potion. We must not let the captain die like this. The monkey is anxious. Given their status, the high-level healing potions that can be redeemed at the exchange office are probably the energy crystals that the captain saved for a year to redeem. The other party has received such a big favor from the captain, shouldn't they repay the captain? End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 777. Chapter 777 Get out of the way. Monkey, don't think of me as a fool. It's not obvious who your brother's advanced healing potion was used on. Xueli glanced at Yali. Monkey pointed at Yuli. Yuli? Impossible. How is it impossible? You all said that Yuli was injured by the scorpion beast and was so deeply poisoned, but when she came back yesterday, everyone saw her in high spirits. There are no wounds at all on her body. I don't believe you asked Yuri to stretch out her arms. Doesn't she even know if there are any traces of poisoning on her body? If your captain hadn't given her the advanced healing potion, how could she have recovered so quickly? Xueli angrily scolded Yali, making Yali feel even more guilty. Sister-in-law Xueli, Monkey and the others shook their heads. Sister-in-law, you really wronged Yuli. When she was injured yesterday, we were all present. The captain never gave the so-called advanced healing potion because the team recently got too few crystals on missions. So we ourselves can't even change low-level healing potions, let alone high-level healing potions. The captain told us later on the road that there was really no other way and we still had to go on a mission. Otherwise, that bottle of low-level healing potion should be given to Yuli, so that it can at least save her life. Xueli looked at the monkey and the five of them in disbelief. You actually helped Yuli lie to me. If it weren't for the advanced healing potion, how could she recover so quickly? How is it impossible? Yesterday, I treated Sister Yali. I cut off the outer layer of corroded carrion, then applied herbs to treat the injury. I gave Sister Yali some homemade pills and she recovered. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood up. Otherwise there will be a big misunderstanding. Yali looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao in surprise. Are you the one treating me? Shirley sneered, don't pretend there, I know she was once your future sister-in-law. Who on this 900th floor doesn't know that you are a loser? You only got where you are today because of Yuli's protection. You stand up and say so. Doesn't your conscience hurt? You two women can go on missions as a team every time. If our Lujian hadn't seen you pitifully and protected you, which team do you think would be willing to take women on missions? As a result, now, you actually say such unscrupulous words. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at the bearded man lying dying on the bed. I don't need to lie. I used to study medicine. Although my grandma is seriously ill, you should know the background of our ancestors. I once had one of the most famous teachers who taught me some medical skills. At the time I didn't think I would ever use this. I have been confused until now, that is, during this mission, Sister Yali was injured, and I used random treatment methods. I didn't expect it to be very useful. If you are willing, I can help the captain take a look, and maybe I can save the captain. Zhang Xiaoxiao is very sincere, but also a little worried. It is best not to use peach balls. It's okay to deceive others with what I said, but it's probably a bit difficult to deceive Yuli. At least Yuli knows herself very well. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't understand this background at all. He only knew about this girl from the diaries and books left by Zhang Xiaoxiao. It is true that Zhang Xiaoxiao had the experience of studying medicine before, but in this era, he can no longer be called a doctor, but an ancient doctor. It is a lost skill. Xueli has something else to say. Monkey had already taken the lead and whispered to Shirley. Sister-in-law, don't be like this. For the sake of Big Brother, you have to be a little more open-minded. After all, Zhang Xiaoxiao has such a powerful big brother. She is indeed very powerful when she goes on a mission with us this time, and she took out of the handle was the dagger her eldest brother had left behind. That dagger cuts iron like clay, and all our weapons combined cannot cut through the scorpion-shaped beast, the scorpion mastiff, but she can actually cut it with one knife. Maybe there is really something left in their house. You can ask her to show it to the eldest brother, otherwise we have no other solution now. Xueli closed her mouth and sat aside angrily. This was a concession. Zhang Xiaoxiao quickly untied the gauze on the bearded chest, and was indeed cut by a sword of some shape. There were 3 wounds in total. The longest one was 30 centimeters long and was bloody. The most important thing was that the other 2 wounds also hurt the heart and lungs. In fact, according to Zhang Xiaoxiao's visual inspection, it's a miracle that he didn't die. The treatment was basically just random bandaging. He was really in good physical condition before he died. Wait for me, I'll get some tools. This is an excuse. If you don't go back to your own place, how can you get your own scalpel and other things? Our space must have a set of surgical supplies and commonly used drugs, and of course surgical drugs. This is not about taking precautions before they happen. Yali followed Zhang Xiaoxiao worriedly. I'll go with her. After the 2 people left, everyone in the room was very angry. Especially Xueli. I tell you, monkeys, you have also seen that Zhang Xiaoxiao and Yali are really nothing. They have no ability, so they still have to pretend. Even if Yali uses high-level healing potion, it can't be done for the sake of fool people and leave them alone. You all know what kind of person your captain is. He treats others with all his heart and soul, but to meet such a white-eyed wolf, he is trying to kill your captain. Carefully wanted to cover Lu Jian's wound. Suddenly Lu Jian's body twitched violently and spurted out a mouthful of blood. Everyone is panicking. What should we do, Captain? Captain, give the captain and the healing potion quickly. The monkey's eyes were red. The primary healing potion was the lowest level, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to buy it. It doesn't work even if you know it. But there is no need to just watch people die like this. The monkey punched the wall hard. Everyone knows that what Xueli said is wrong. Even if Yuli used a high-level healing potion, it was not given by the captain. But he was also a little angry in his heart. If Yuli hadn't used those advanced healing potions, the captain would have been able to at least struggle a little bit. We all know that this kind of injury will definitely lead to a narrow escape from death. They have seen too many such injuries and deaths. It is impossible to cure with advanced healing potions. They cannot afford to go to the medical clinic. But it's hard to describe the feeling of watching one's own captain die. Originally I didn't have any resentment towards Yuli, but after seeing this, I still felt angry. Lu Jian, you can't die, you can't die. What should I do if you die, Lu Jian? Please, don't die. Xueli cried like a tearful person. Please give way. Everyone raised their heads. Zhang Xiaoxiao was carrying a medicine box, and Yali, who was behind, was holding a huge box and placing it next to the bed. Xueli looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao in shock. At this time, Zhang Xiaoxiao's masked temperament actually became powerful, with a faint prestige. It makes people not even think about resisting. Zhang Xiaoxiao kicked her chair. Get out of the way. Xueli stood up hurriedly. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 778. Chapter 778 Zhang Xiaoxiao has become an ancient person. Not only Xueli got out of the way, but the others could not help but feel solemn. This kind of temperament makes people feel very professional. Right? That's how they feel, the kind of powerful aura that only very professional people have. Zhang Xiaoxiao has it. The hibiscus flower on the mask seemed to be shining faintly, and everyone held their breath. Xueli's desire to play nonsense was completely subdued by a certain momentum. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at Yali and said there was nothing he could do, he had no assistant. I want to operate on him. Sister Yali needs your help. Others should keep quiet. You are not allowed to touch any of my things, otherwise you will bear the consequences. Zhang Xiaoxiao opened the box, put on a set of surgical clothes, and directed Yali to help her disinfect. Hang Hao and Xueli couldn't help but take a few steps back. The contents of the box were enough to dazzle them. Rows of knives, as well as various pliers, tweezers, hammers, saws, and various tools that cannot be named. Open the upper layer, and the lower layers are filled with various things that cannot be seen at a glance. And the box of medicines. The monkey's eyes lit up. He had seen these things in the cabinets of doctors in treatment centers. The bottles contained medicine that they did not understand. Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked back, his eyes piercing with cold light, and the monkey shut up instantly. Looking at Zhang Xiaoxiao injecting the medicine into Lu Jian, he looked back at them and said, "You can go out." The monkey pointed to himself, "I." Xueli said first, "No. I want to stay. Get out, or I won't do it. It's up to you. Do you want to watch him die, or wait outside for him to live?" Zhang Xiaoxiao quietly stopped all movements and looked at the 6 people coldly. The monkey pulled Xueli, and the others pulled and dragged her out. The door clicked and someone locked it from the inside. 6 people were waiting anxiously outside. People passing by saw 6 people looking in a trance, and someone asked about them. "Monkey, isn't your captain injured? What are you doing standing here?" "It's okay, let's wait." Monkey himself doesn't know how to justify himself. Say Zhang Xiaoxiao is treating his captain? Shut up. Anyone who hears this will probably think they are crazy. Zhang Xiaoxiao is a loser in everyone's eyes. Hang Ho was a little annoyed, wondering why he would somehow agree to Zhang Xiaoxiao's treatment for the captain. What if he is put to death? Monkey knows that even if he is not executed, the captain is actually waiting for death. Perhaps it comes from their mentality of treating a dead horse as a living horse doctor. 5 hours later. The door is open. Yuli came out with the box in her arms with a pale face. After coming out, she quickly handed the box to the monkey, and then she lay down in the corner and vomited. I don't know if people thought Yuli had been drinking in broad daylight. Xueli rushed in desperately and saw Zhang Xiaoxiao taking off his gloves. The patient's condition is stable and his vital signs are stable. Now the liquid is being transfused and requires special care. I have told Yuli about the follow-up precautions. If you ask her, don't come if you have nothing to do. Excuse me, I need to take a few days off. It is so calm that it makes people doubt life. Lu Jian is still sleeping on the bed, his chest has been bandaged, and he doesn't look much changed. Hand an infusion bottle hanging from his arm. They have never seen this kind of thing, which is a treatment method that can only be found in ancient medical techniques rumored on the internet. It is said to have been lost now. Perplexed that this is the legendary ancient Western medicine. Ancient Western medicine? Right? After Zhang Xiaoxiao returned to his room, he searched online and found out the current time period. The era of Western medicine here is already called ancient times, and this is the Earth said to be 5,000 years from now. Just travel by yourself and you will be 5,000 years in the future. The question is how to find the half of the meteorite? My own father, Wu Weiguo, has died. No one can answer this question now unless they ask about Wu Weiguo's ashes. Zhang Xiaoxiao was a little annoyed because he was being so pretentious. For Song Moding's sake, he should also ask clearly whether he was doing harm to others. It's okay now, there's no place to ask, I have to fumble around. Unconsciously, my thumb rubbed the ring surface on the index finger of my left hand, and suddenly a wave of heat swept over me. Dad, you are finally here. Zhang Xiaoxiao was stunned. Dad. You are not Father Wu, who are you? The crisp voice is the immature voice of a little boy. Is your father Wu Weiguo? Of course, who are you? Obviously little boys are more wary of this. According to blood relationship, Wu Weiguo is also my father. Zhang Xiaoxiao reluctantly admitted that the old man was gone and there was no need for him to argue with a dead man. Ah, you are my sister? Sister, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Please take me to number 10 quickly. 10th. All right. The meteorite ring clearly pointed the direction to her. I am number 9, and number 10 is the half of the meteorite fragments. Because of the last explosion and the countless high-quality objects of various forms thrown in, the meteorite has mutated. It was completely broken into pieces. The most important thing is that the meteorite fragment number 10 now generated its own intelligence and escaped. Don't you also produce wisdom? I was created by my father, and my wisdom is also derived from my father. Number 10 is not. It is generated by itself. Our meteorite itself has the ability to tear apart time and space. Now number 10 has simply escaped without a trace. Split in various time and space. Then how to find him? The only way for my sister to find meteorite fragments is to search for the past world by world. The reason why number 9 brought her sister here is because this world is attractive for meteorite fragments, but where is it hidden? Sorry, number 9 doesn't know yet. Only at a distance close to 500 meters, meteorite ring number 9 can sense the aura of meteorite fragment number 10. Now it's just a distant connection, the specific location is unknown. Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless, he was considered to have boarded the pirate ship. This meteorite fragment also has wisdom. No wonder the peach trees in the spiritual spring of my own space disappeared without a trace after the explosion. Now they are given to meteorite fragments as rare treasures for people to upgrade. You still have wisdom. Zhang Xiaoxiao Yilin is wise and does not mean that meteorites can change shapes. A living being that turns into an animal or something. Where can I find it myself? If you become a human, wouldn't you kill people and seize treasures? Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly had a headache. Thinking about Song Moding, a burning fighting spirit ignited in my heart, for the one I love. Think about your situation in the future. This is the world 5,000 years from now. The world is now destroyed due to a certain world war, coupled with the invasion of alien creatures. After adding insult to injury, the current world is similar to the end of the world. People are living on the earth in a strange way. Because of the scarcity of materials, a unique way of survival has formed. The main reason is that there are not many survivors, so in order to obtain materials and resources, one has to fight with one's life. Basically, human civilization is almost extinct here. My own medical skills are actually called ancient medicine here, which is astonishingly novel. She is considered an ancient person. Yes. People 5,000 years ago were not ancient people. Sister, I will take you to find number 10. Dad said that whoever can open this ring is my relative. Dad is my relative, and my sister is also my relative. Treat relatives with love. Sister, I can help you a lot. Zhang Xiaoxiao Wanner is really a meteorite that evolved the wisdom of children. Okay, sister, thank you. If sister needs your help in the future, she will come to you. Sister, I helped you today. I helped you see what's in the box. Number 9 is a bit talkative, and I don't know if it's because he's been holding it in for a long time, or if it's because Wu Weiguo created this attribute of number 9. It's strange, Wu Weiguo is a man of few words. The number 9 created does not look like the nature of the creator. So it was you who did it? No wonder I can see the contents of the box today. That's because of the mask. The cloak is also a good thing. It can be invulnerable and can move instantly. The dagger is part of number 9. It is harder than any object. Dad said that these things are all part of me. Sister, please explore more. You will find that there are many functions. The cheerful 9 chattered endlessly. Okay, thank you no 9. Sister, thank you so much. Zhang Xiaoxiao raised his eyebrows. Yo, you know a lot. Then how can I thank you? Dad said that expressing gratitude should be sincere, just saying it without doing it is not thanking you, it is perfunctory. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he was despised by Ring. Then how should I thank you, or what do you want me to say to thank you? Sister, I want to eat. Zhang Xiaoxiao rolled his eyes. No 9, do you have a mouth, can you eat? The twisted interface of the ring shows a strong disapproval of the idea of just resting. Of course I can. I exist in a spiritual state. I have no mouth, but as long as you sincerely give me food as a sacrifice, I can eat it. Sacrifice. Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly imagined a specific festival, where circles were drawn on the roadside, incense and candle offerings were placed, and paper money was burned in worship. Isn't that what it means? Yes, it's what you think. The Bianhua flower on the surface of the ring instantly became less cold and eerie, and seemed to have a joyful atmosphere inside. Then I'll give it a try, I'll make mutton skewers. I am miserable. In order to repay the kindness, besides, number 9 is really just a child. Zhang Xiaoxin is very soft-hearted and has never been able to refuse such a child's request. Open the refrigerator, and a one-eyed sheep is still lying inside. Zhang Xiaoxiao quickly cut off a large piece of tenderest meat from the waist and abdomen, which was alternately fat and thin, and was most suitable for roasting. Look at the kitchen, thanks to the oven. Cut the mutton into small thick slices, chop the onion, produced by space, then mix the mutton slices and onions together, and marinate for about half an hour. Originally, it should be burned with charcoal in a special iron trough, and the meat skewers should be placed in the iron trough. On top, sprinkle with salt, paprika, and cumin. Turn over and sprinkle with salt, chili powder, and cumin powder. Continue to bake for about 5 minutes, until it is fully cooked. Without these conditions, it is impossible to make authentic kebabs, but the oven version is also possible. Anyway, with the addition of cumin, the lamb kebabs with chili noodles are just as fragrant. It's a good thing you didn't see that the ring is so radiant. When a large plate of grilled mutton skewers was brought out, Zhang Xiaoxiao was worried about this plate. What should he do? Recite silently mutton kebabs for brother no 9. Sister, that's it, I'm going to eat. Then he saw that the mutton on the table was really gone. Zhang Xiaoxiao blinked and looked at the ring. A twisted pattern suddenly appeared on the surface of the ring. Sister, it's so delicious. What's this called? This is the most delicious earthly food I've ever eaten. Even my father won't let me eat it. Sister, you are the best. I like you, sister. Zhang Xiaoxiao laughed. No 9's mouth is quite sweet. Okay, just eat it. As long as you help my sister find number 10, I can give you a lot of delicious food. It turns out that he is a foodie, and he loves to eat easily. Zhang Xiaoxiao's cooking skills are absolutely passable. Although I haven't done it for a long time, there is no comparison for number 9. Naturally, whatever I do is delicious. This brother number 9 is quite cute. Listening to his voice, he sounds like a child of 4 or 5 years old. However, this person's attribute of loving food is quite good, and he is a chatty person. It seems that it will be more convenient for me to ask him something in the future. It's better than being blind and unable to find anything at the beginning. If I had known about it, I would have touched the ring earlier, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to communicate with number 9 until now. Suddenly thought of Wu Weiguo. If he had not been so stubborn at the time and had not become incompatible with Wu Weiguo, in fact, his father would not be a bad person. He had devoted himself to the country and a certain cause throughout his life. For him, this was probably him. The meaning of life. His daughter was not part of his plan. Later, he was able to work hard to protect himself and separate himself from his affairs. I have done my best. As Brother He said, his father loves him in a different way, but this way is probably something that most people cannot understand or accept. Zhang Xiaoxiao made 3 plates of grilled mutton skewers to meet the requirements of snack food. This man went to bed after eating and drinking. In its words, eat enough, drink enough, and sleep well. What a child. By the way, Zhang Xiaoxiao also grilled himself a plate of mutton skewers. Anyway, I have a one-eyed sheep. The mutton here is tender and tastes more delicious than the mutton at my own place. I don't know if it's a psychological effect or if it really tastes very good. Anyway, I will definitely eat the kebabs. No problem. As long as you sprinkle cumin, chili pepper, and salt, the mutton skewers will still be delicious. There is a knock on the door. Zhang Xiaoxiao had to put the mutton skewers that had just been grilled on the table. Open the door. Monkey and Yuli, and 4 other men. Xiaoxiao, we came here specially to thank you. I didn't expect you were cooking. What are you doing? Why does it smell so fragrant? I have never smelled such a delicious smell. Yuri wondered what such a delicious taste is. I have eaten this before. This is my favorite taste of the black horned dragon I have ever seen. It is said to be called roast mutton. Think again about the one-eyed sheep that I took back. It had no taste after being boiled in plain water. Why is the mutton cooked by Zhang Xiaoxiao so delicious? Zhang Xiaoxiao took a look, and everyone looked salivating. The mutton skewers have just been grilled. How about we all come in and have some? These teammates don't have any bad intentions at first glance. Although they don't talk much, they once despised Zhang Xiaoxiao, but that was for the original Zhang Xiaoxiao. I should be able to understand that if such a person is placed in my team, I am afraid that I would like to expel him directly. As soon as I heard this, 6 people cheered and entered the room without even a hint of politeness. We gathered around the table, without even using chopsticks, and just put the pieces of meat in the baking pan into our mouths. Even though our mouths were hot and hissing, we still couldn't stop eating. Mom, Xiaoxiao, what does this taste like? Why is it so delicious? Xiaoxiao, I was wrong. I always thought you were a waste, but I found out later. What does it mean to hide something secretly? You are hiding it too deeply, and you can do anything. Hanky complained that in his mind, Zhang Xiaoxiao was really a waste before, unable to do anything. Team up with them and go out on a mission, let alone kill those monsters. Even protecting yourself is a problem. If you need others to protect you, you won't say anything, and you won't say anything when you come back. I don't even know how to say thank you. It feels a bit ungrateful to say so. Who wouldn't scold this girl behind her back for being sick? Lock yourself in the room as soon as you enter. If it weren't for Yali, Zhang Xiaoxiao would have been kicked out long ago. Zhang Xiaoxiao, who is withdrawn and squeamish, how can she know what qualities and advantages she has in the eyes of others? Even Yali can't understand her sister-in-law. Of course she was my former sister-in-law. This sister-in-law used to be a really squeamish young lady. She really didn't expect that her sister-in-law would be so good at medical skills. This was understandable, because the Zhang family did have the conditions to hire good teachers in the past. It was not that money could make people go around. There is nothing wrong with hiring a teacher of ancient medical skills to teach her medical skills. After all, the Zhang family also has some background, and they hope to be able to produce something worthy of the family's reputation. Those qualities of your fiancé. His fighting power is so strong that he has hired a specialized teacher. Otherwise, facing such a world, his fiancé would not have become such a famous Shura warrior. But my sister-in-law is different. She usually looks delicate and soft. Furthermore, since her brother passed away, her grandma was hospitalized, and her family members died and dispersed. She basically didn't say anything and always hid timidly behind her. The two of them never interacted with each other in their daily lives. They always came to their sister-in-law's room by themselves. Although he looks neat and tidy, he doesn't even have the feeling of being popular at all, which makes him feel like he is a real person now. A living person with flesh and blood. She can also mingle with her comrades. Although she is wearing a mask on her face, the smile at the corner of her mouth makes people feel her kindness. Yali smiled and pulled Zhang Xiaoxiao to sit down. You haven't eaten either. Sit down and let's all eat together. By the way, the roast mutton you made is so delicious. Why don't I bring you my one-eyed sheep? You don't know that the mutton boiled in plain water will be unpalatable after I go back. Even if I die, I will still enjoy my happiness here. The monkey wiped his mouth and said, Xiao Xiao, if I had known you were so good at your crafts, we would have hunted so many prey for you before. Even if you ask us to give you some money, it's no problem. What are we eating? Like pig food. Others slapped the monkey. That's the pig food you just ate. Monkey smiled awkwardly, but, that was a slip of the tongue. No matter how much you belittle me, I can't degrade myself to the rank of pigs. Hey, wait a minute, I'll eat the last piece of meat. The plates were cleared. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the plate and Yali was happy. My sister, none of the five of them are married. It is impossible to make the food they eat on weekdays. They are all bought from the market, except for bread, which are semi-finished products. Of course, the taste cannot be compared with yours. You just forgive them for finishing your dinner in one fell swoop. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled and said, Sister Yali, come to the kitchen with me, and I will teach you how to roast mutton. In this way, you can bake a few more plates, otherwise there will not be enough for everyone. Since you are here today, of course I am a guest and you are there anyway. Let's take care of Sister Li's one-eyed sheep. In an instant, the five grown men jumped up. Zhang Xiaoxiao, so mighty and domineering. Xiaoxiao, you will be my biological sister from now on, don't worry, I guarantee that your brother will know what to do when he goes out. You are just not good at fighting, but what you are good at is something that most people don't know how to do. Look at what it looks like. Treat my eldest brother. My eldest brother has woken up now. Looking at your cooking skills, I guess you can use it to set up a stall in the market without you having to go out on missions. I guarantee that the money will flow into your pocket. With your skills, you might be noticed by the upper class. As long as someone invests in you, you can go directly to the 850th floor. Unlike rough guys like us, we have to rely on our own abilities. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Yali are busy in the kitchen. Even though Yuli's fighting ability is much better than hers, but her cooking skills? That's haha. Yuri, who was in a hurry, complained, I didn't expect that cooking is not easy. I might as well go fight monsters. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others baked 5 more plates before they could barely fill the stomachs of these people. Of course, if these big eaters are really full, it may not be enough to eat both the one-eyed sheep, but just to have a taste of it. Could it be that he really wanted to fill his stomach? No one is really so blind that he insists on squatting in someone else's house and eating up both of their sheep. After sending Yali and Monkey away, Zhang Xiaoxiao could finally take a breath. While brushing his teeth in the mirror, Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled. It seemed that the first step had been completed. At least now she has become one with the whole team, and it is not as miserable as the original situation. What Monkey said about setting up a stall, if he were left in his own world to survive, he might do some easy jobs, safe jobs, but now there is no way to find the naughty number 10. She can only go through life and death. Otherwise, no matter where you go to find number 10 will never come out on your own and put it on your plate. The only good thing is that I finally understand how powerful the equipment my father left me is. At least she now has defense and attack abilities. This dagger is said to be the most powerful dagger in the world. Coupled with the invulnerable cloak, his mask also has a see-through function. Just thinking about this set of things probably took a lot of effort from my deceased old man. The old man spent so much money to get this set of things, probably because he was frightened by Song Moding's incident, leaving himself a set of tools for self-defense and life-saving. Perhaps this is the only love left to her by her father. Recommended Song of Thorns new book Chu River Chronicles, a story about a small world slowly, everyone is welcome to support it. Hee. I also hope that everyone can continue to support Lucky Bag. The following story is probably related to passionate survival, and I hope that I can write it well. Don't criticize if the writing is not good, the author tried his best. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 779. Chapter 779 Making Soy Sauce. Zhang Xiaoxiao closed his eyes, he had to get used to running in two worlds. An energy stone should take 3 days. Obviously, I have no mission to complete this time. No words all night. Early the next morning, Zhang Xiaoxiao went to see the bearded captain. Before you knock on the door opens. When the monkey saw Zhang Xiaoxiao, he immediately acted like a dog. Xiaoxiao, you're here. Come on, you're so awesome. The captain woke up in the middle of the night. Although the pain was severe, he was alive and well. Looking like that, it's like Zhang Xiaoxiao has become a god. Indeed, in their minds, Zhang Xiaoxiao is very tall now. I heard that this person was a charming lady before, but I didn't expect that her family background was so strong. This is a big boss. Zhang Xiaoxiao actually knows such superb ancient medical skills. No one now doubts Zhang Xiaoxiao's medical skills. Lu Jian is a living example. In this world, doctors are all national treasures. I haven't seen the doctors in the treatment center. Even if they are top-notch doctors, they have eyes on the top of their heads. What's more, this man brought the captain back from the brink of death with just one action. Who can guarantee that they will not encounter the opportunity of needing help from others in the future? They should have a life-saving blood pack by their side. After entering the door, Zhang Xiaoxiao received top-notch treatment for the first time. Shueli had a smile all over her face, and her humble attitude was completely different from her unreasonable behavior yesterday. Xiaoxiao, come and sit here. Yesterday, my sister-in-law's eyes were stained with feces. I apologize to you. Xiaoxiao, we were all blind before. How could we know you were a real person without showing your face? Xiaoxiao, my sister-in-law said those things in the past. Don't take it to heart. If you feel that you can't handle it, my sister-in-law will let you be beaten and scolded by you. Shueli pulled Zhang Xiaoxiao as if they were biological sisters. The corners of Zhang Xiaoxiao's mouth curled up, and the mask blocked all his expressions, still giving people a cold temperament. Captain. How are you? How do you feel today? I want to see your wound and treat it. This is definitely the tone of a ward round. Lu Jian saw Zhang Xiaoxiao trying to get up, but was held down by Zhang Xiaoxiao. I'm much better. Yesterday I really felt like I was going to die, but when I woke up at night I knew I was still alive, but the pain was excruciating and I wished I could just die. But in the morning, I knew for sure that I would not die. The wound didn't feel anything except pain. This is my savior. Zhang Xiaoxiao put on gloves, took out the disinfectant, and untied the straps. The moment everyone was shocked. The wound on the chest that was so frightening yesterday has turned into 3 horrifying scars today. It looks like some kind of alien creature. It is scary to look at, but the internal organs that were once exposed are all tightly wrapped. Strictly. Zhang Xiaoxiao cleaned his wound and said, "He's recovering well. We'll continue the infusion today. You can eat some liquid food and don't eat irritating food. If nothing unexpected happens, the stitches can be removed in a week. I'm sure you'll be alive and well in a month." Lu Jian's physical condition recovered very quickly, even better than if he had taken peach pills. The physical fitness of modern people born 5,000 years ago has indeed changed a lot, but fortunately the body structure has not changed. It means that genes change recovery ability and physical strength. According to Zhang Xiaoxiao's observation yesterday, the creature that hurt Lu Jian must be very powerful. Lu Jian's survival depends on himself. Of course it's also down to drugs and surgery. Lu Jian and their bodies should not have any immunity to the drug, which is why the drug is so effective. Anyway, it's the right time, the right place, the right people, and the right people. Will it be cured in a month? Xiao Xiao, thank you so much. Our kind of injuries are usually fatal. If we can survive, it will take at least a year to recover. I can be alive and well in just 1 month. Xiao Xiao, your life-saving kindness cannot be repaid. From now on, look at your brother. You will receive half of his reward, and his life is yours. Lu Jian patted his chest and promised, but was stopped by Zhang Xiaoxiao. Captain, be careful about the wound. In fact, I have been entrusted to the captain and everyone to take care of me for so long. If it weren't for you to take care of me, I'm afraid I would have died a long time ago. I just tried my best. We are all comrades in arms, and more importantly, relatives. The captain did not abandon me that day. Sister Yali, I'm actually very grateful. This is the truth. Zhang Xiaoxiao found out after he returned that in that case, the captain could choose to abandon them and run away, and no one would care. This is the law of survival here. But Big Beard didn't. Even though Monkey and the others hated Zhang Xiaoxiao, they didn't abandon them. This is kindness. Stop talking, Xiao Xiao, you are right, we are comrades in arms. It's all without saying anything. Lu Jian removed the stitches 3 days later. Zhang Xiaoxiao told everyone that she needed to rest for a day. Everyone was disturbed and had to go on a mission tomorrow. She must go back today, otherwise she will be kicked out directly by the meteorite ring. Zhang Xiaoxiao has discovered a way to travel between this world and the original world just by turning the meteorite ring. Zhang Xiaoxiao returned to his room and returned home without stopping to settle the children. Leave it to Bai Yi to fully manage the hospital. Prepared another batch of medicines, medical equipment, food, and water, and glanced at Song Moding who was still sleeping. Zhang Xiaoxiao silently kissed his lover. She had to leave. Zhang Xiaoxiao locked himself in the laboratory. Is the best excuse. Every time Zhang Xiaoxiao is in the laboratory, it will last for 10.5 months under normal circumstances, which is not too much. There is food and water here, and there are people dedicated to cleaning. Normally no one bothers Zhang Xiaoxiao. Since someone came to clean and didn't see Zhang Xiaoxiao, they would have thought that Zhang Xiaoxiao had gone out. Zhang Xiaoxiao activated the energy stone. 10 energy stones are enough to stay on your own for a while. Really need to find that naughty meteorite. Today, their team was missing their captain Big Beard, so they had to merge with other people's teams and set off. Originally, the monkey could have led the team by himself, but the bearded captain and the monkey discussed it for a long time. In order to ensure Zhang Xiaoxiu's safety, in the past, they would not have cared about Zhang Xiaoxiu's safety at all. In their original thinking, if Zhang Xiaoxiao died during the mission, it would be one less burden. Anyway, every time you take her with you, you will need someone else to protect her, but you will be distracted. But it's different now. In their hearts, Zhang Xiao's weight is greater than the sky. How could such a person who can save people's lives not guarantee her safety? Zhang Xiaoxiao cannot die if any of them dies. As long as Zhang Xiaoxiao doesn't die, they may all be alive. Who doesn't protect his own life? Therefore, in this case, if the monkey leads a team to set off, it will inevitably have problems of lack of experience and incomplete protection. If it is merged with other people's teams, the safety factor will be much greater. There is absolutely no problem in protecting Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao followed them on the road. At the elevator door, there are 10 people in the other team, 9 men and 1 woman. The two sides met and saw Yali and Zhang Xiaoxiao appearing. Many people's eyes changed when they saw Yali. Yali looks really enchanting. Zhang Xiaoxiao is wearing a mask and a cloak, which makes it difficult to see the beauty and ugliness. All his fiery eyes fell on Yuli. Yuli is used to it. People on the 900th floor naturally have their own circles. She doesn't care about people's eyes. She is not a vegetarian if she wants to be strong with her. She will leave in a month. Hope nothing goes wrong. Yali habitually told Zhang Xiaoxiao, "Follow me and don't be careless. This is our first time working with these people." The implication is that although the other party's details are known, it is not safe. Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded and followed Yali without hesitation. Monkey went up to say hello to the opponent's captain. "Captain Lu, this is one of our people. I hope we can have a happy cooperation this time." Captain Lu's Flying Tigers are a famous tiger and wolf team on the 900th floor. Being able to cooperate with them makes me feel happy. However, the other party said that they are going to the Starry Sky Forest to pick this year's fruits. The purpose of forming a team is to defend with one team and pick with the other. To put it more bluntly, it means hiring a few laborers. This is more in line with the requirements. They are responsible for picking, and it is not difficult to work quickly. There are not many ferocious monsters in the Starry Sky Forest. They are all low-level monsters, so the risk factor is really not high. They are really good at it. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 780. Chapter 780 Self-taught without a teacher. Two teams enter the elevator. Yali and Zhang Xiaoxiao were consciously protected by the 5 monkeys. The beautiful woman on the other side glanced at Yali provocatively. After getting out of the elevator, what everyone saw were 2 high-powered trucks. They all have rear carriages with iron bars guard rails. Captain Lu on the other side signaled, "Let the girl sit in the front. The car behind will probably be very bumpy." Monkey glanced at Yuli and saw that the woman on the other side had already gotten in the car. Yali shook her head, "Captain Lu, thank you for taking care of me. My sister and I are used to bumps and we are not afraid." The monkey was startled, and Yuli gave him a wink. Handki immediately said with a smile, "It's true that dog meat can't be put on the table. Captain Lu, they are destined to suffer. It's a pity that you show mercy and let our Captain Lu teach them a lesson." Captain Lu said kindly, "It's nothing, the girl has quite a temper. If I remember correctly, this Yuli is the fiancée of Zhang Lei, who is known as Shura." Monkey nodded, "Yes, you are well informed, and Yuli is very skilled. You think Shura's fiancée cannot be incompetent? She is the main fighting force of our team." "Haha, the one with the mask is Shura's sister Zhang Xiaoxiao." "Yes." Captain Lu glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao meaningfully. "What a pity, get in the car and go." The monkey took the man into the car. In front are Captain Lu's men. They were all sitting in the car at the back. The road was indeed bumpy. Zhang Xiaoxiao sat motionless, quietly swaying left and right with the bumps. Not a single word of complaint. The car was extremely fast. Compared with the last experience, Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he might not have gone 3 kilometers last time. It seems that our team's equipment is not good enough. Zhang Xiaoxiao was very vigilant, thinking about ending the mission this time and going back to Jin Dachuan for training. Otherwise, how can we face the high-risk labor intensity? This is a fatal rhythm. The meteorite fragment may not be there yet. Zhang Xiaoxiao had a talk with number 9 yesterday. Number 9 introduced her to No 10's attributes. In fact, number 10 and number 9 have different attributes. Although they are two brothers cut from a meteorite, in real terms, number 9's attributes tend to be mild and watery, while number 10's attributes tend to be more explosive and fire-like. In other words, number 10 is likely to be in a place with some kind of fire attribute object or fire attribute terrain. Zhang Xiaoxiao wanted to ask number 9 if she could get a map for this place, but number 9 replied to her that number 9 was not omnipotent. Number 9 only knew about the situation in the world, but some specific things could only be asked the locals. Have to. Zhang Xiaoxiao can only focus on his teammates. Obviously, this was not a good time to chat because everyone in the car was eating dirt. After nearly half a day of bumpy rides, they finally arrived at their destination and saw the green grass and tall jungle around them. It was probably the most eye-catching color they had seen along the desolate road. Yuli stopped the car and said, "Xiao Xiao, today's mission is very easy, and there are some low-level monsters around the starry sky forest. Generally speaking, they will not do much harm to us. This is also the reason why this place will be converted into farmland. Generally speaking, large armed groups will take the opportunity to open a farm here. Of course, this kind of low-level monster will destroy farmland. Generally speaking, it is lucky if the farmland can be preserved." Zhang Xiaoxiao got out of the car, followed closely by Monkey. The 5 grown men shouldered an important mission, and they had to protect Zhang Xiaoxiao and Yali during this mission. Especially Zhang Xiaoxiao, the captain gave many warnings and instructions. Zhang Xiaoxiao's life is more important than any of them. Even if the 5 of them die, Zhang Xiaoxiao must still be alive. Generally, the 300th floor shares a treatment center, and there are only 3 doctors in one treatment center. You can imagine how scarce medical resources are. The people on the 900th floor are basically the lowest level people and cannot afford to go to the medical center, so the people at the medical center do not count them at all. Of course, everyone on the 900th floor does not regard themselves as such a valuable person, and has never thought of going to a treatment center. Just like the captain who was so seriously injured, he still lay at home waiting to die, just because they knew they could not afford to see a doctor. So just wait for death. Now that there is one more Zhang Xiaoxiao, it is equivalent to one more life for everyone. Don't worry, the flying tigers are very strong. The last time we saw their farmland, they were actually well planted. We don't know if it's because they take care of it often, or if they clean it here every time they go on a mission. Monsters are very interested in it. There was minimal damage to their farmland. This time we can get 10% after helping them harvest, which is already a lot by the way. You can also do some picking in this forest, and you might be able to get some good things. Everyone is in a very relaxed mood, because this mountain and forest is basically beautiful, the environment is very good, the air quality is good, and many plants can be picked. However, there are not many edible plants here. Basically, if they want to harvest some edible plants, they have to grow them themselves, so each team will cultivate farmland here. Their team is not qualified to cultivate farmland here. There are only 8 people in total. How can they cultivate farmland? Captain Lu of the Flying Tigers jumped out of the car and took the female team members beside him directly to the monkeys. We will reach our farmland through the jungle in front. Normally we can finish harvesting in 3 days. Of course, you can search in the forest to see if there is anything you need to bring back. Then we will go back as a team. Captain Lu and the others did not delay and led the team directly to the farmland. This piece of farmland is indeed very large, at least 30 acres in total. The 30 acres of land are divided into 2 pieces, and a small part is planted with green rice. Zhang Xiaoxiao can recognize this. After all, he has worked on a farm, so he can still recognize the rice. But the other part was a red plant. She couldn't recognize what it was, at least there was no such thing growing where she used to be. Captain Lu said, "You have fewer people to harvest the rice here, but we have more people, so we harvest the red oats on the other side." The 2 teams divide work and cooperate. Monkey and another boy were on guard duty while everyone else was engaged in harvesting. Lu Xiaoxiao entered the rice field without saying a word. The toolman's flying tigers have already brought, of course, a sickle. How can we harvest plants without such a thing? This kind of harvesting work is hard for all of them, after all, they have never done this kind of farm work. Everyone kept their heads down and worked hard. Hao and Das Han looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao with their mouths open. The monkey was thinking just now, otherwise he would change Zhang Xiaoxiao over later and ask Zhang Xiaoxiao to guard here. In fact, Zhang Xiaoxiao cannot play the role of guard, but with the mountains here, Zhang Xiaoxiao will not be of much use. Help her cut the rice herself. Cutting rice is a hard and tiring job that most people can't do, especially a pretty girl like Zhang Xiaoxiao. Unexpectedly, the 2 of them saw the little girl in front of them. She was working hard, and one person directly passed the group of people. Moreover, her movements were graceful, as if she was not doing any work, but as fast and good as painting landscapes. Each pile of rice behind him was neatly tied into a bundle, making it easier to move the rice directly to the roadside and load it into the truck. Looking at my own people, the rice behind them was cut crookedly and thrown all over the ground. Suddenly I remembered a saying, "People are more irritating than others." It turns out that there are people in the world who are self-taught without a teacher. End of this chapter.